so excited to be back here with you, presenting a 2023 market update, reflecting on December of 2022. This is the Vancouver Real Estate Blog. I'm Amera.
I'm Wilfred. Hope you had a great start of the new year. And today we're going to talk about the market update.
So we're going to break this down into three main categories. So we're going to talk to you guys about opportunities for buyers and sellers. This is a really big question that we get asked is, what is my opportunity right now? Are there opportunities out there? And how can I take advantage of them? And then we're going to talk to you about some hard numbers. So the numbers really do speak and kind of share what's going on in our market. We know some of you really appreciate those, and so we're going to make sure to include those as well. And then the other component that we want to touch on with you is just kind of discussing exterior influences and mortgages. Without further ado, let's talk about some of what those exterior influences are. Wilfred, what have you kind of seen?
Yeah, so we've talked about this. There is, and I'm sure all of you heard it in the news, a big increase in interest rates to combat inflation, which is currently sitting at 6.8%. So very high, because on average it's usually 3%, right? Rates are sitting right now 5.5 to 6%, depending on fixed or variable and your credit score. And so the other external factors are immigration. Years ago we had 100,000 immigrants come into BC, 85% usually come to Vancouver. So yeah, those are the external factors. Let's talk about opportunities. And what have you seen for buyers, Amera?
So right now for buyers, I think the biggest opportunities are sitting with cash buyers. We're noticing a lot of price drops in homes, particularly higher price points, just because they're a little bit harder to get approved for. So if you are looking especially for a detached home, that's going to be a big opportunity as a cash buyer, and even as a non-cash buyer, if you're able to get approved in that price point. Something you can do, and I was talking to a mortgage broker as well earlier today, is do that shorter term mortgage. So typically you see a 5-year term on your mortgage, but some mortgage brokers are looking at a 1 to 3 year term for their clients, because you can get approved at potentially slightly higher interest rate than the 5-year, but you're able to reevaluate that in 1 to 3 years. So what we're kind of seeing is that we're going to continue having those increases over the next year, but likely in smaller amounts. And then from there, we're really hoping things will start to stabilize and potentially drop a bit, maybe sitting at about 4% or so. It's hard to say. That's why we're just giving our clients all the options and all the information that we can. And just really, I think, having to step in a little bit more in advising and just, like I said, providing all that information for you so that you can make an informed decision.
Yeah, book an appointment with us.
We're happy to share more. Let's talk about sellers as well. So for sellers, what are the opportunities out there? How's the market sitting?
Yeah, for sellers, it's a little bit trickier, right? Compared to last year, this time, it was a red hot market, multiple offers, everything's going, most of things were going, and prices were just climbing and climbing. Right now, it's kind of the opposite, but depends on the specific area, specific neighborhood, specific property type, which we'll dive into a bit more details. But I would highly encourage you to price it competitively. Also, hiring a realtor that will really market your property and go above and beyond and be on top of things, because it is important in this market when buyers have a little bit more choice, a bit more time, like with subjects. So it's important to do all of that. So that are our recommendations.
Well, I mean, I think you really nailed it on the head. Sorry to interrupt, but when you're saying that we really want to be marketing those homes well, because it's sitting more in that buyer's market, you kind of have to appeal a little bit more. And then when we were talking about competitive pricing, just to clarify, we're not really talking about pricing under market value. What we're trying to do is get ahead of things and really be competitive, because there is a lot of overpriced inventory out there right now. And so I think same as you, same as everyone out there, we're looking at a lot of the solds to get those price points. Whereas I think a lot of our sellers are looking at active listings. So definitely ask your realtor to show you what has sold kind of in your area and
very
some comparables. So
yeah, to get accurate pricing. And that being said, just a quick thing on the BC assessments, which I wouldn't recommend to judge on that. The better way is to look at the recent sales.
And then one last thing to touch on with buyers and sellers, well, I guess with the buyers, is the mortgages. So right now, just to break things down, buyers are getting approved approximately 20% less than they were back in 2021 before we started to see a lot of these interest rate hikes. So if you were approved previously for $1 million, you'll probably get approved for around $800,000, assuming your situation hasn't changed.
Yeah.
And then just to take a look at what it's going to cost you in a mortgage, you're sitting at about $600 per $100,000. So if you have a $500,000 mortgage, you're probably paying about $3,000 a month. Just a little bit of information to keep in mind. If you want more advice on mortgages, we're not experts in that, so I would recommend you to a great mortgage broker. Feel free to reach out about that. We wanted to get into some numbers with you as well real quick today. So do you want to kind of start us off with these numbers?
So across Metro Vancouver, home sales were down by 34.4%, decrease year over year. However, it was only a 13.4% below the 10-year sales average. And the sales to active ratio in December 2022 sat around 12% for detached, 20% for townhouse, and 22% for condos. So what does that mean, Amera?
Yeah, so broken down, it's pretty much saying that detached homes are sitting on a borderline buyer's market. Anything below 12% is buyers. And then for the condos and condos and detached homes, you're going to be looking between the 20 and 22%, which is just hitting the seller's market. So seller's market is 20 plus. In Vancouver, we typically hit a seller's market, but over the past year, we saw a lot of balanced markets, and we really started to see some of those buyer's markets kind of creeping in. Arguably, in a balanced market, we are in a buyer's market for Vancouver. So,
yeah. So it is definitely a normal market on paper. But for Vancouver, that you mentioned, it feels like a buyer's market. That being said, we have some more numbers, so stay with us. The benchmark price, do you want to get started with that?
Sure, yeah. So the benchmark price that we looked at in Metro Vancouver for condos sat in 2021 at about $762,000. Townhomes in December 2021 sat at around 1.005. And then when we were looking at the detached homes, you were sitting at around 1.91. For 2022, how did that compare?
Yeah, so 2022 for condos, it was 713,000. Townhouse, 1,112,000. And detached home, sitting at 1.8 million. 1.823 million to be more precise. What that means though is because those are just numbers, but to make a bit more sense would be that there is a decrease in 6% decrease in condos, right? And 0.8% for townhouse and 4.8% decrease for detached. And what does that mean if we dive a bit deeper?
Yeah, so basically what we're saying is that for detached homes, they've dropped in price. We said it's about 6.7% for detached houses, meaning that there's a little bit more opportunity out there for buyers to save. And then for the townhomes, it really does speak to the interest in townhomes right now. I think because they're between the price of a condo and a detached home, generally speaking. So it's a great price point for people who are wanting to still upgrade their home, maybe have a little bit more space, a little bit more privacy. But not quite break into the detached market. And then the 4.8% decrease for detached is just speaking to the higher price point that we see in those homes.
Yeah, townhomes has always been the sweet spot here in Metro Vancouver. And that's why people love it so much. That's why it hasn't decreased as much as the other asset classes, even though the interest rate is much, much different compared to last year. And I guess 2 years ago, because we're 2023 now.
Yeah.
That being said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up, and it will really help us, the channel.
Please reach out. Myself or Wilfred would be happy to meet with you, share more about the market that you're interested in, and show you some comparables. We'd also be happy to help set you up a mortgage broker, as well as other professionals, maybe a financial advisor. And for the seller side of things, if you're interested, we'd be happy to do a home evaluation for you and kind of connect and share more about your market and your home specifically. We always enjoy getting to connect with new people. So Our contact information will be just down below.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Like Wilfred said, give it a thumbs up, and follow for more content. So
Thanks
we'll
again.
see you next week.
Yeah,
All right?
see you next time.